Everyone, I'm now calling this meeting to order. Please stand with us. We'll be led in prayer by Alderman Gallagher. Please remain standing after that for the Pledge of Allegiance that will be led by Alderman at Large George Payne.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to meet again, Lord. Lord, we pray that you would give us wisdom in each of the decisions we make. Lord, I want to pray for the department heads and the citizens of Southaven. Lord, that you would be with us. And Lord, draw us closer to you. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda this evening is the approval of minutes for the July 5, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Hoots, a second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoot.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
And that motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution approving sub-award agreements through the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality. Mr. Nick Manley, City Attorney.
Yeah, as was noted previously in prior meetings, the mayor had authority to apply for these grants through MDEQ from the ARPA funds. Since that time, the city has been awarded the funding for the improvements for Star Landing Water System Improvements Phase 1, Water System Improvements for Star Landing Phase 2, Autumn Woods Drainage Project, Carriage Hills Drainage Project, Tullahoma Pump Station, the Whitworth Water Treatment Plant upgrades and generator. So tonight we're getting authorization pursuant to the resolution for the mayor to sign these agreements and take any action needed for the agreements or set forth in the agreements. Also, as you recall, we previously designated the money since it was under $10 million to be used for general city or governmental purposes. That's the reasons for the drainage projects that could be used as part of this funds as well pursuant to the federal law. So tonight, just need authorization for the mayor to sign these agreements, and we can do it all as we just have them listed for the agenda purposes, but you can do it all at one time pursuant to the resolution if you wish.
I will make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Kelly. I'll start the discussion just to kind of give everybody a, just a, checkpoint on how we feel about. This is super, that we're able to get this, and as y'all know, some of these projects on here have been on our to-do list a long time. We've been looking for ways to fund them, so for us to get this help is really going to be super. And Alderman Kelly, I've never lost thought of the sweet lady that lives in Carriage Hills that came to us years ago. What is her name? I'm sorry.
Betty Tubberell.
That's it. And so I think about her every year when we set our budget. That was one project that would have eaten up our whole drainage budget from an operating standpoint. So it was never quite cost effective for us to put that much money into one project. But when we started looking at the state and putting the applications in, that's why we put that on there. Is we told her that we wouldn't quit, that we were going to try to find a way to solve that problem. And so it's I don't know. I just like to celebrate some victories. It's kind of a victory, and I'm happy that we're able to do that for the for Carriage Hills. And same thing with Autumn Woods. I don't know if we've talked about this a whole lot, but Dan Cordell and Robert Booth, super familiar with this. This was a large drainage pipe that was put in the Autumn Woods subdivision, which is at Rasco and Sweeney. It was put in the early 1990s, and the material that they used, it was not a good choice. The thing became perforated, had holes in it nonstop. We've been fighting sinkholes there for many, many years, but it's a very expensive project. So when this funding became available, again, it made it make sense from a cost standpoint for us to use this and to get this done. So those are two big ones that, that without this funding, it was going to be difficult for us to do it. So I'm super excited that we're able to get to those. And then obviously the others are utilities as we grow in our city and maintain, aging infrastructure. These are critical for us too. So all these are super outstanding. So I'm very happy that we can get to these. Anyone else have any questions or discussion about any of these? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is our agreement with Axon with the Southaven Police Department.
At that previous meeting, this agreement was approved by the board, but since it was approved contingent upon final terms being worked out with Axon, since that time final terms were worked out, Chief Moore has signed the agreements along with Axon. So tonight there's no action other than just to include that agreement in the minutes tonight for renewal of and upgrade of body cameras that will take place in October of this year. And it'll allow for additional ones along with also an upgrade to those body cameras for our police department, and consistent working will be done with the new budget cycle in October. So no action other than noting this agreement was approved and putting in the minutes in accordance with the directive from last meeting on July 5th.
Okay, thank you. And next on our agenda are term bid renewals.
These renewals are just an extension of one-year renewals for each of the public works and utility construction contract, the overlay, the material supply. It'll be a one-year renewal pursuant to the contract that was originally bid. The only one with the CPI is the public works and utility construction contract, which is roughly around 3.5% to 4%. I can't remember off the top of my head CPI increase, which is consistent with what the CPI factor was as put forth in the contract. So we can do these all at one time as well. We just need an authorization for the mayor to take any all action, including signing each of these contract change orders for these term bids that's allowed pursuant to the bids. For the term bids that was contemplated once it was bid out for the renewal of each contract for an additional year.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is a resolution for sanitation assessments.
Yeah, this resolution is just authorization for placing the assessments for those who have not paid their sanitation fee as approved by the city, and for a lien and or assessment to their car tag.
Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion among the board? Is there anyone in the audience that owns any of these properties that would like to speak? Hearing or seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is a resolution to clean private property.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt a resolution granting authority to clean private property as presented on this date. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion among the board? Hearing none, is there anyone in the audience that has a financial interest in any of the properties that would like to speak? Hearing or seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
Okay, and that motion carries. There is no planning agenda this evening, correct, Whitney? Is there anything that we need to update the board with or at all? Okay. And next on the agenda is our mayor's report. First thing, I just got this late yesterday, but we have an agreement, as y'all know, for SROs in our schools with the DeSoto County Schools, where they have increased, the school system has increased the amount of money that they offer for us. Up until 2022, all of the Southaven schools were the schools, not all of them, we set the officers in the as needed in the more high profile schools, or where at any given time we felt like they were best used, but we had no help from anybody else. All the Southaven schools were Southaven police officers. Well, we had some discussions in early 2022. The school board did step up and offer us more money. Now they offer us $60,000 for each officer, and we have 7 Southaven police officers in schools. There's 10 Southaven, DeSoto County schools in Southaven. So we have 7 Southaven police officers, and then we have 5 in 22 when these discussions started. You know, we called attention to the fact that they are county schools, and we asked the county sheriff's office and the supervisors to help us. And so they did. They stepped up, and they're providing 5 sheriff deputies to help us as well. So we have all the schools covered. And so that's definitely a step in the right direction. I know this is an election year for the sheriff, and both have made comments about different things that they're going to do for the schools. And the point that I've always made with our superintendent of education and our county is that we need to do more. You know, you don't have to, you can watch at what is happening in our world right now, and we're doing our part in Southaven. We've always been committed to protecting our schools, but there's got to be more. There needs to be help. You know, the county, like I said, the county has stepped up and is helping. The school board has stepped up with more money. But there needs to be some state help. There needs to be some other things going on. We live in a different world than when all of us went to school. And it needs to be a detailed plan. There needs to be more law enforcement on the campuses. So anyway, I say all that tonight just to make sure that anyone's watching, that you understand that, you know, we can't solve this. The Southaven Police Department can't be the only one responsible for this. We got to have some help. So I'm hoping that the promises that are being made in the sheriff's race do come true, because there have been some big promises that have been made, and they're long overdue. Things like that need to happen. So, but anyway, I tell you all that to say that we had the same agreement that we had last year with a few little tweaks. Our officers in the 2 high, so we have a Southaven police officer per this agreement in 5 schools, and then we have 2 in our high school. So in DeSoto Central High School and Southaven High School, we'll have 2. So that's the agreement. Like I said, I got this late yesterday. Everything is the same. If y'all want to wait to approve it and look at it, or I can pass it around. But that's all we're doing is just giving the authorization to sign this and send it back. I reviewed this with Chief Moore. It's the same thing that we basically did last year. So if y'all are good with that, would somebody make a motion for me?
Make a motion.
Okay. Alderman Hoots made a motion. Second by Alderman Gallagher. Any other questions or discussion about that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. And then this obviously will go where there's, you know, copies of that for anyone that wants to look at that. Just a couple of quick little announcements. Y'all know that I think at the last meeting I updated everyone that Perfect Game had the first national tournament in Southaven. This tournament has been in Orlando, Florida. So this was the first year that we brought the Perfect Game national tournament here. And, you know, we're not new to baseball. We've been very successful at tourism and in youth sports here. But this one was a step up. This one was something really big. We had teams from California, Texas, all over the place that were here. So today there was a 12-year-old championship, and Michael Norris, our IT director, worked with Perfect Game, helped them get their live streaming. So now if a parent or grandparent or whomever has a child that's playing out of town, they can't go there. They can just go to Perfect Game website, and they can live stream to watch the game. The camera is on the back of the backstop, so you can actually watch the whole game from wherever you are in the country. The game that's happening in Southaven, Mississippi. It's a really cool thing. And but anyway, Michael did a great job. They were very appreciative of him, you know, setting that up. Y'all know the parents love that. And then Perfect Game has their own TV. And so today, you know, Southaven, Mississippi was all over the country, all over the probably Latin America, Dominican, Venezuela too, I would assume. But anyway, we're all over the place today. Our park looked awesome on national television. Understand that there was a big hit, walk-off home run that caught the attention. We got lots of social media thumbs up from former Major League Hall of Famers, Will Clark, some of the others loved watching the game. So anyway, that was all happening in Southaven, Mississippi. It's big for our city, just to show that, you know, that we do offer tremendous opportunities for our kids, and the tourism aspect of our city is incredible when you're reaching that many people all over the place. So I wanted to share that with you, and I meant to. At any time, there's a link to the Perfect Game that in the future, if anyone wants to watch that, Scotty Baker can send that to y'all, or Wes will be glad to send it to you, and it's really cool to watch and check out. Next board meeting on August 1st, y'all know that our second Tribute Hall inductee was Mr. John Reeves, who is a longtime developer, longtime citizen of Southaven and real estate developer. He was the second one that we chose to honor, and we have his plaque done and ready to go, ready to be unveiled. And so we've spoken with him, and he's going to be available. So at 5 o'clock at the next meeting on August 1st, we'll do like we did for Mr. Vernon McCammon. We'll meet out front, and we'll bring as many people as we can, and we'll just have an unveiling of his plaque. So that'll be really cool. And last thing, I just want to give everybody an update. Y'all know that with some of the when we got the state ARPA money from the items that were listed on item 5 on the agenda tonight, we had already counted a lot of that money. We're going to use some of that for our streets. And so when we got the state money, that freed up some of our own ARPA money. So we agreed that we were going to put that in our streets. And so the report tonight is we've started on a summer schedule. And if we can put that up, scroll down to where it's like a peach background. And I made the font larger. Hopefully everybody can see that. But anyway, just wanted to, we're the FY24, we haven't finalized these streets. We're still working on that list. You know, that'll be contingent on our budget. There you go. Thank you so much. That's good. So you can see the ones that are in a, you know, highlighted in peach are the ones that we're going to take the ARPA money in 2023 and go ahead and get started in those. I'll just kind of read them to you. Everybody's always curious about this. Southcrest Parkway is one that has been on our list for a long time, but for some reason the last year the winter weather just was brutal on it, and Southcrest Circle, they're in terrible condition. So obviously that's, you know, on both sides of Goodman Road on the north and south. The hospital's on the north, and then Town Center Mall is on the south. You know, Walmart and everything there. So there's tremendous traffic right there. So it's very high profile. You can see it's extremely expensive, $375,000 just for that one stretch. But we're going to take that money and do that. Southcrest Circle ties into the hospital, goes around to the Women's Center, and then it was repaved at the Women's Center back towards Airways at some point, so it's not as bad there, but there's a stretch there that's in horrific condition. Old Airways Road, south of Star Landing, that was in part of an annex area for Alderman Gallagher Ward 4, and I don't think that thing's been touched since, I don't know, the 80s maybe, I don't know, it's been a long time. Old Airways Road, and then it ties into an isolated area that's a one-lane ingress-egress Bailey Road, but it's a city street, so, and it's in horrific, it's terrible, it's almost needs to be rebuilt. So we're going to get to it. And then Bonner Drive, Alderman Wheeler, you know that a few years ago we took care of most of the streets in Witten Place. Bonner at that time, it's a long street, and it was in fair condition, so we tried to, you know, be efficient with the money, so we didn't hit Bonner. But over the last few years, Bonner's take a beating with the weather too, so we're going to knock out Bonner. Cherry Place Drive is an area that's just off Getwell, south of College, in the Cherry Tree community, and that one was one that we didn't touch for a while because there was so much new construction still going on in the area. So if anybody says, well, why were y'all waiting? For a long time we were waiting on that, but it is in terrible condition. So we're going to go ahead and get on that this summer, and late this summer, and try to wrap that one up. And then if you'll notice, we ran out of money, so we had to be kind of crafty here. So what we're going to do is tie in to the next, when we start the next budget year, we'll go ahead and hit the other streets that are off Cherry Place. So Kenton Drive, Colony, Vintage, and Chattering are all connected, and so you really can't do one without the other. So we'll start the next budget year with those, and that'll make that whole area look better. Then the last three that are listed there are again back to, well, the first two, Market Plaza and Sleepy Hollow. Those are off of Southcrest Parkway, like you're going towards the hospital where all the hotels are, and there's an Aldi's back there. Well, that's where Market Plaza is, and they're both in horrific condition, so we'll go ahead and hit those. And the last one has been, this is the first road during my time as mayor that we've hit twice. So we hit Sweeney sometime in 2014 or 15. And this is a section, we've done a lot of work on Sweeney, but this is a section from Rasco south, crossing over Goodman Road down south of Worthington Estates residential area. That whole stretch right there is just falling apart. So and you can see the price tag on that. It's $764,000. So that's a big one, but it's high profile. It goes in front of Brown Missionary Baptist Church. A lot of traffic right there. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that as quick as we can too. But anyway, just wanted y'all to know like what we plan to, specifically where we plan to allocate the money. And it's exciting that we can go ahead and get a head start by getting some of these big ones underway before we get into FY24. But that's all I have. Any questions about the streets or anything else for me? Okay, thank y'all for putting that up there. Okay, we'll move on. Next on the agenda is our personnel docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the personnel docket as presented on the state. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoot.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is our city attorney's legal update. Mr. Nick Manley again.
He's trying to say something.
Wow.
Nick?
I don't quite open the door. Just all I had, no action. All I was needed is just entering into contracts the mayor has signed for the Bank Plus Amphitheater pursuant to his previous authority as granted by resolution. So just a note that those agreements will be entered into the minutes tonight, and no actions required. Just put that in the minutes. That's all I
Thank
have.
you. Next on our agenda is our utilities billing leak adjustment docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the utility bill leak adjustment docket as presented on the state.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoot.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is one claims docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the claims docket in the amount of $3,148,568.19, including demand checks.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Flores. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoot.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is the purpose of determining the need for executive session.
I'll make that motion. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Wheeler. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The need for executive session this evening is discussion of litigation and prospective litigation in accordance with state law, economic development within the city, parks personnel, and general personnel discussions with no action. Is there a motion to declare executive session?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Hoots, second by Alderman Wheeler. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The mayor and board will now enter executive session.